Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're really digging into how lasting change actually happens. You're forgetting those huge resolutions that just fizzle out.
Right. We're aiming to understand the bedrock, the four fundamental laws that govern how we build habits that stick. Small steps, big results.
Exactly. We're talking about atomic habits. And that word atomic, it's key, isn't it?
It really is. Think of an atom, the smallest, indivisible part of something bigger. These habits are like the atoms of our lives. Tiny actions.
But they compound. That's the mind-bending part. Getting just 1% better each day, it doesn't sound like much.
It sounds like almost nothing, but do that consistently for a year, and the math is just staggering. You end up 37 times better.
37 times. That's exponential growth from changes you barely notice day to day.
It's about focusing on the system, the trajectory, and not chasing some massive overnight success. That usually ends in disappointment.
Like the British cycling story. That's such a perfect illustration.
Oh, absolutely. For, what, 100 years they were?
Yeah, well, pretty mediocre,
Okay.
right? Yeah, basically no major wins. Tour de France, Olympics, nothing much to show. Then Dave Brailsford comes in.
And his whole philosophy was the aggregation of marginal gains. Find 1% improvements everywhere.
Not just the obvious stuff like training plans. He looked at everything.
Ergonomic bike seats, alcohol on the tires for better grip.
Specific pillows. They analyzed pillows and mattresses for each rider to optimize sleep.
It sounds almost obsessive, painting the inside of the team truck white.
So they could spot any tiny speck of dust that might affect the bikes.
Crazy detail. But each 1% improvement, when you add hundreds of them together,
That's when you get the massive results. Beijing Olympics, 5 years later, 60% of the gold medals.
incredible. And that success comes from understanding the underlying structure, the habit loop.
Right, which has 4 steps: cue, craving, response, and reward.
And each step has a corresponding law to help us build good habits or break bad ones.
Okay, so let's start with the first step, the cue, the trigger.
This is where the first law comes in. Make it obvious.
Because habits often run on autopilot, don't they? We just do them without thinking.
Totally. We're often blind to our own routines. So the first step has to be awareness, making the unconscious conscious.
Which is where that habits scorecard idea comes in handy.
Exactly. Just list your daily actions, wake up, check phone, make coffee, whatever, and then label them. Plus for good, minus for bad, equals for neutral.
It forces you to actually see what you're doing.
And crucially, to ask, is this habit casting a vote for the kind of person I want to become or against?
I like that framing, voting for your identity. Okay, so awareness first. But then, how do we make the good cues obvious?
Environment design. It's huge. Your environment is like the invisible hand guiding your behavior.
We choose things based on where they are, not just what they are.
Precisely. Look at that Massachusetts General Hospital cafeteria study. It's brilliant.
They didn't lecture anyone about health, did they?
Nope. They just changed the setup. The refrigerators near the cash registers used to be only soda.
Obvious cue for soda.
Right, so they just added bottled water to those same fridges. Made water just as obvious, put baskets of water everywhere.
And the result?
Without saying a word, soda sales dropped over 11%. Water sales jumped almost 26%.
Just by making the healthy cue impossible to miss. That's powerful.
Okay, so the cue is obvious. What's next? We need the desire, the motivation.
The craving, which leads to law 2, make it attractive.
And this is where dopamine comes into play. But maybe not how we usually think about it.
Right, we used to think dopamine was the pleasure chemical, released when you get the reward.
But the neuroscience now shows it's released more during the anticipation, the wanting. The craving itself is driven by dopamine.
Wait, so the brain focuses more on wanting the reward than actually liking it when it arrives.
The seeking circuits are much larger than the liking circuits, yeah. The pursuit is often more motivating than the arrival.
Huh. Okay, so if craving is so powerful, how do we make things like, say, exercise or eating vegetables attractive? They don't always have that immediate appeal like junk food or social media, those supernormal stimuli.
That's the challenge. We need to manufacture attractiveness. One great tool is temptation bundling.
Linking something you want to do with something you need to do.
Exactly, like the ABC TGIT, thank God, it's Thursday campaign.
Oh yeah, Shonda Rhimes Thursdays.
They didn't just promote the shows, they explicitly told viewers, get your popcorn, pour some red wine, relax while you watch our shows.
They bundled the desired relaxation ritual with the act of watching their network. Clever.
Made watching feel like a treat, an indulgence. Over time, the association sticks.
And social forces play a big role in attractiveness too, right? We want to fit in.
Absolutely. We imitate the people close to us, friends, family, and we imitate the tribe, the many.
So joining a group where your desired habit is the norm makes it way more attractive.
Definitely. If you join a running club, running becomes the normal thing people like us do. It shifts from a chore to part of your identity. Makes it much more appealing.
Okay, so we've made it obvious, made it attractive. Now we actually have to do the thing, the response.
Which brings us to Law 3, make it easy.
This feels key. It's about reducing friction.
It taps into a fundamental human tendency, the law of least effort. We are wired to conserve energy. We naturally drift towards the easiest option.
So habit change isn't about muscling through with pure willpower.
Not primarily. Think of motivation like water pressure. If the hose is kinked, it doesn't matter how much pressure you apply. You need to unkink the hose, reduce the friction.
Remove the obstacles. But does making it easy mean we avoid hard things? Success needs effort, doesn't it?
It needs focused effort, not unnecessary struggle. The goal is to make the start of the behavior easy, to get the reps in. Repetition builds automaticity.
Like that photography class study.
Perfect example, University of Florida. One group graded on the quantity of photos submitted, the other on the quality of a single perfect photo.
And the quantity group, the ones just snapping away constantly.
Yeah.
They produce the best photos in the end, right?
By far. They were constantly doing, experimenting, making mistakes, learning. The quality group got paralyzed trying to theorize perfection. Action, even imperfect action, leads to progress. Make the action easy to start.
So practical ways to make it easy. Priming the environment.
Yes, like Oswald Knuckles and his resetting the room strategy. He's being proactively lazy.
Explain that. How is cleaning up lazy?
After he watches TV, he puts the remote away, folds the blanket. He's not just tidying, he's reducing friction for the next time he uses the room, making the next action easier for his future self.
Setting up for future success. Like cleaning the toilet while the shower heats up. Deals with it before it's a bigger chore.
Exactly. Minimize the effort required at the moment of action. And the flip side works too. Make bad habits difficult. Increase the friction.
Like Victor Hugo and the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Classic story. Facing a crazy deadline, what does he do?
Has his assistant lock away all his clothes except a giant shawl, basically.
Right. Made it impossible, or at least incredibly awkward and difficult, to leave his study and get distracted. He engineered friction for the bad habit.
And finished the book weeks early. Brilliant. Made the desired response writing easy by making the undesired one, going out, hard.
It's all about designing your environment for the path of least resistance towards good habits.
Okay, final piece of the puzzle. We've done the habit, now we need it to stick. The reward.
And the fourth law, make it satisfying.
This feels crucial because of what you said earlier about our brains.
The cardinal rule of behavior change. What is immediately rewarded gets repeated. What is immediately punished gets avoided.
And the problem is, we live in a delayed return world now. Saving for retirement, eating healthy, the big rewards are way off in the future.
Exactly. Our brains evolved for immediate returns. Find food, eat food, feel good now. Junk food, social media likes, they offer that immediate hit. Healthy, long-term habits often don't.
So we have to engineer immediate satisfaction for those good long-term behaviors.
Yes. Even small, immediate reinforcements make a huge difference. Look at the hand-washing study in Karachi.
People knew they should wash their hands, but they weren't doing it consistently.
Until they were given better soap. Soap that smelled really nice and lathered up really well.
Just making it a more pleasant sensory experience.
That was enough. The nice smell, the rich foam, it made the act itself immediately satisfying. Hand-washing rates soared, and childhood diarrhea rates dropped dramatically.
Wow. Immediate sensory reward drove the long-term health benefit.
Okay, but what about avoiding bad habits? There's no action to reward if I just don't eat the cookie.
That's tricky. The key is to make the avoidance visible and satisfying.
Yeah.
Create an immediate reward for not doing the bad habit.
Oh.
The book suggests setting up a specific savings account. Label it something you really want, new leather jacket fund or whatever.
Then, every time you resist buying that unnecessary latte or snack, the thing you're trying to avoid, you immediately transfer the money you would have spent into that special account.
So the immediate reward is seeing the savings account balance tick up towards the goal. You visualize the benefit of your inaction.
Precisely. You get that little hit of satisfaction right away. Which leads perfectly into one of the best tools for this law, habit tracking.
Like the paperclip strategy.
Trent Deersmid, the stockbroker, started each day with 120 paper clips in one jar, made a sales call, moved one clip to the empty jar.
Simple, visual.
And incredibly satisfying. Seeing that pile of clips grow in the second jar gave him immediate visual proof of progress. It reinforced the behavior call after call.
Habit tracking really nails multiple laws, doesn't it? Makes it obvious, can make it attractive, and definitely makes it satisfying.
It does. It creates that immediate feedback loop our brains crave.
So pulling it all together, these 4 laws make it obvious, attractive, easy, satisfying. They provide a framework, a system.
It's not about the goal itself. Everyone wants to win the Tour de France or write a novel. Success comes from having a system that enables those tiny, compounding improvements day after day.
Focus on the system, not just the outcome. Implement these laws to build the 1% gains.
Right. The laws give you the how. They make the process smoother, less reliant on sheer willpower. But there's still the question of why.
Nietzsche's line comes to mind. He who has a why to live for can bear almost any how.
Exactly. The 4 laws make the how easier. They reduce the friction. But a powerful why, a deep craving, a strong purpose.
That can fuel you even when things are difficult, when the reward feels distant.
It provides the underlying drive. So maybe the final thought for everyone listening is, as you work on building these habits, using these laws, what's your why? What's the deep desire that's fueling these atomic changes you're making?